There is no introduction that I could give to do justice to the amazing talents of our next guest. Please welcome Jack Dorsey, co-founder of Twitter and Square.
Thank you. Good morning. How is everyone? This is huge. I'm Jack, and there's one reason I'm here. About 36 years ago, there were two best friends, and they started a pizza restaurant. They were 19 years old. One of them was named Tim. The other one was named Ron. And they started this pizza restaurant named Two Nice Guys. And the pizza restaurant in St. Louis, Missouri started doing very, very well. And they wanted to protect the business and also their friendship, and they made one rule, is that they would not date the waitstaff. And the first person they hired was my mother, and I was born 10 months later. So that's my founding story, and I want to talk a little bit about founders and entrepreneurship. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind here. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never woke up one morning and said, I need to be an entrepreneur. I need to get a ticket to San Francisco. I need to get a subscription to Entrepreneur Magazine, although it's a very fine publication. I actually wanted to be Bruce Lee, but that job was already taken. Now, I wanted to be a sailor. I wanted to navigate the world. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to explore and to experience it. I wanted to be a tailor. I wanted to craft amazing products. I wanted to build things for myself that I could share with others, and love the work. And I wanted to be an artist, specifically a surrealist. My favorites because they see the world in a very, very different way that really opens your eyes and makes you think in different ways. Along the way, I realized that there was something interesting, which was life really happens at intersections. And for me, it was truly intersections. I was fascinated by cities and what was happening around me in a city. And what I found was that what was really important was recognizing what was happening in that intersection and determining the right thing to do. And then I started looking at founders. And these are some guys that you've heard a lot about recently, founders of our nation. They had a lot of really good ideas, but they had one great idea. And that great idea can be summed up in the phrase, a more perfect union. They had the realization that they weren't going to get everything right the first time around, that a lot of the work had to be unfinished. A lot of the work had to be undefined, unpainted, and open to the future, open to change, open to evolution. And that there would not be one founding moment of this nation, of this organization, of this company, but in fact many. Because a lot of the ideas they had at the time were just purely wrong. They were disproven. And they were disproven again and again and again by men like President Lincoln. And it wasn't just individuals that disproved some of these initial founding concepts, but it was also the people rising to speak their voice and to push the country in new and amazing ways. John F. Kennedy not only pushed us to think about ourselves, but think about what's outside of this planet, what's outside of the world. So there's a massive amount of energy spent and emphasis spent on the original founding moment of a company. For Twitter, a lot of people consider Ev, Biz, myself, and this green deer to be the founders of the company. But that ignores reality. Companies exist and evolve over time, and in fact, they have multiple founding moments. So I consider Dick Costolo, our CEO, a founder. He's had such a dramatic impact on the company, the culture, what we're doing, that he's really questioned everything that we started with and made it better. Keith, our COO at Square, another person I consider a founder of the company because he has the attitude, because he came in and made an impact, and he changed the course of the company with that attitude and with that impact. Howard Schultz, not a founder of Starbucks. He joined Starbucks as the director of marketing. He went over to Italy. He saw all of these cafes on the street, and he saw what they were serving. They were serving espresso drinks, cappuccinos, lattes, and he thought that that might also work in the United States. He brought it back to the management. They said, that'll never work. We're not doing that. He was given an opportunity to start one firm with serving espresso drinks. It worked out. Management still said no, so he left and he started his own company that served espresso drinks instead of beans. 2 years later, they sold him the brand Starbucks. 30 years later, here we are, the largest multinational corporation on the planet and a massive success. Not a founder, but amazing, amazing impact, and has the moral authority of the company right now to really transform it in new and interesting ways. Marissa, not a founder of Google, certainly not a founder of Yahoo, but has the context, has the drive, has the recognition, and has the moral authority to really change and to create another founding moment within the company. So in our companies, in Twitter and Square, we believe this to be true. An idea that can change the course of the company can happen and can come from anywhere. So a founder is not a job, it's a role, it's an attitude, and it's something that can happen again and again and again. And in fact, it has to happen again and again and again. Otherwise, we would not move forward. If we stuck to the ideals of our original founders of this nation, we would not be here today. This country would not evolve. This nation would not evolve. This organization would not evolve. And neither would these companies. There's this great quote by a science fiction writer named William Gibson, which says, "The future has already arrived. It's just not evenly distributed yet." So just think about this for a moment. The future is already here. It's already arrived. It's just not evenly distributed yet. So our job as founders, as entrepreneurs, which is just someone with curiosity, confidence, and cleverness, is to distribute the future that's already here. It's in our companies. It's in this room. We need to make sure that it spreads all over the world, and to do so as quickly as possible with the right amount of purpose and the right values. This is disruption. Disruption is like an earthquake. Disruption has no purpose. It has no values. It has no organizing principle. It has no direction, and it has no leadership. I think we have to change the name of this conference. This is not what we want to bring into the world. What we want to bring into the world is revolution. Revolution has values. Revolution has purpose. Revolution has direction. Revolution has leaders. Revolution looks at the intersection ahead and pushes people to do the right thing. And it doesn't always have to be loud. It doesn't always have to be violent. It's just as powerful in its stillness. So, the thing I would love for all of you to consider is how we recognize disruption, how we recognize everything that's going on in the world, how we recognize these intersections ahead of us, and how we take on the attitude of founders, how we take on the attitude of entrepreneurs, and we distribute the future as quickly as possible. Speeches will not distribute the future. The tools that all of you are building will accelerate that, will distribute the future. And that's what we want to do in the world. We don't want disruption where we just move things around from point A to point B. We want a direction. We want a purpose. And we want to combine forces, and we want to cooperate to get there, because it's not going to happen alone. And the important thing to realize is that you don't have to start from scratch to do something interesting. You don't have to start from scratch to have a massive impact in the world. You have to have a good idea. You have to convince other people of those ideas, and you have to push as quickly as possible. Twitter was not started because we started a company. Twitter was started because we had a good idea, and it started out of a failed company. That can happen in any company today. That can happen in any organization today. What I challenge you to think about is to pick a movement, to pick a revolution, and join it. I want to end with one of my favorite quotes, which is, join us. Pick a movement. Pick something that you believe in, and pick something that you want to make an impact in, and then question every single thing and be a founder and be an entrepreneur inside those organizations and inside that movement. But actually, Gandhi never said this. It was actually this guy. What we really need to do here in San Francisco and here in the world is to really use technology to remind people that we are human, that civilization is meant to connect together, civilization is meant to be easy, and that technology should completely disappear. And it should be easy to pick up, and every single person in this room can be a founder, be an entrepreneur, and have a massive, massive impact on the world. Thank you very much.